Hello, it's Mama here. Today's tutorial is on a fully lined two-piece lace dress. This is the first of two parts and will be focused on making the top. There's a lot to go through, so let's get started. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and outfits will be at the end of the video. The top is a basic tank top with a v-neck. I added two 1-inch darts right below the bust to cinch in the waist. The back is the same pattern, but it has a lower neckline, and it's also split into two with a 1-inch seam allowance down the center for the zipper. The shoulder straps are 1 inch wide. I started with the shoulder strap by folding it in half and sewing along the side. Once it was turned right side out, I snipped off about 2 inches from each of the strap. This little strip is going to be attached to the O-ring to make up the back part of the shoulder strap. Before attaching the lining to the fashion fabric, I sandwiched the straps between the two layers. Notice that they're placed upside down, but no worries, they will be in the correct orientation once the layers are flipped right side up. On the back, the strip is a little bit too short to stay put as a loop, so I'm going to pin it in place. Also, the lining is a single piece here because I was still playing around with ideas for the back design, so I didn't want to cut it up just yet. I sewed along the neckline and added some ease by snipping into the seam. I also trimmed off the corners where the shoulder straps are attached and sewed the seam onto the lining. Here is a close-up, and I'm going to sew right next to the seam. It was tricky to get around the shoulder strap area since there was very little room to work with, but I managed to avoid catching any unwanted fabric. Plan B would have been to hand sew around these corners. Either way, all of these steps help to create a smooth neckline. For the darts, I sewed both layers together as one and made sure everything was smooth before sewing. The dart is basically a right side triangle with the 1/2 inch base. At this point, I decided to open up the back completely and attach it to the front. Because my fabric doesn't have much of a stretch to it, I went with the zipper for closure. This is all excess fabric, so I'm going to add the zipper right here for a better fit, invert it so that it opens up from the bottom. First, I closed up the back with a base stitch that will be removed later on. With the zipper lined up against the base stitch, I sewed close to the zipper teeth. And for a clean finish, I tucked away the end of the zipper tape to hide it. With the base stitch removed, the zipper should open up freely like so. After removing the excess fabric and zipper, I finished the hem with a decorative elastic. Here is a snippet of the skirt for demonstration purposes. As always, I attach the elastic with the scallops facing away from the edge before going back in to secure the raw edge. All that's left is the shoulder strap. A needle and thread was helpful with guiding the strap through the slider. Looking down at the slider from the top, the general looping pattern is to go through the first slot from the bottom and over through the second slot. This pattern is repeated a second time. Now let's take a look at the actual strap. See how the strap goes through the first slot from the bottom, over through the second loop, into the O-ring from the top, back through the first slot from the bottom, and over through the second slot. Notice that the second loop also sits inside of the first loop. The end of the strap is secured to this part. Here it is in action. Under, over, over, under, and over again. With the end secured, you've got yourself an adjustable strap. Maybe it's the holiday season, but this outfit makes me feel so festive. I love how the sunlight plays off of the glitters on the skirt, and the top adds a minimalist effect. A leather jacket in the same earthen tones provides some warmth. Wide-legged pants are one of those things you either love or hate. I fell in love with the flow and fabric of this pair, and I decided to keep the leather jacket for a contrast and textures that, at the same time, doesn't clash with the bottoms. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back here for part 2. Bye!